Hi. I've taken out some crossover albums for my collection. Hardcore bands going metal, metal bands going hardcore. Some are from the 90s also. I guess you can say crossover period starts somewhere in 84. One of the earliest could be Infa Riot by COC. And that went to the 90s also. You could say those groove metal bands can also be called crossover in some kind of way. I have a few albums from the 90s added in this list, but most of all from the classic crossover era. Let's start with this one, Agnostic Fronts, Liberty and Justice for. They are joined by the guitar player Steve Martin from the FUs, a Boston hardcore band, who already started flirting with metal, and this is the follow-up of the well-known classic Cause for Alarm, but this is way better in my opinion. The songs are faster and have more of a hardcore sound than a metal sound. Not that the Cause for Alarm album, I think, was too polished, the production, and this is more going towards hardcore, the future of hardcore. I guess you can say this is one of those bands that is very responsible for what comes next. There are some tracks on this album that are still played live today, like Anthem and Liberty and Justice, Genesis as well, I believe Crucified, the Iron Cross cover, which is in almost every set list of them. And my favorite strengths, I could do a review of that song alone, how well that song is crafted. My favorite Agnostic Front song. But some other time. So that's Agnostic Front from 1987, Liberty and Justice for. And this one is an example of a 90s crossover album. You couldn't just call it a metal album or a thrash metal, groove metal. There's several elements here present, also classic rock. You may know Sacred Reich from their thrash metal classic Ignorance from 1987, I believe. This, however, is an album from 1996. This is one of my favorites. I like it more than their thrash stuff. The debut was very good, but the albums in between not so much my cup of tea. Great songwriting. There's some heavier stuff, some slow, groovy songs, some more in the punk vein. They even have a cover of Danny Elfman. That's the composer of many Tim Burton soundtracks for Tim Burton films. He has a band called the Incredible Oingo Boingo Band, and they did a cover of Who Do You Want to Be? Cool song. Sacred Reich, Heal. Then this is Brawn, my favorite Brawn album, the debut. It's pretty short, a very punk driven metallic hardcore album, but it's very tight. This has some experimentation, I think, some breaks, slow parts, some killing joke type parts, which they would use on later albums more, but this is a very short blast of supreme thrash metal punk. Brown primitive origins. Suicidal Tendencies, Lights Camera Revolution. This is a major label album from them, from 1990, the follow-up of How Will I Laugh Tomorrow If I Can't Even Smile Today, which is more trash, I believe. This I really like this blend of metal, punk and even funk music. It has a pop sensibility, which you can hear on the previous albums already, but this is really their peak album for me. It also features, as you may know, Rob Trujillo, who would later on join Metallica. Killer lead guitar from Rocky George. He is a great guitar player, one of my favorites. Then another one from the 90s, Nail Bomb with Point Blank. You could call it industrial metal, but it's to me it's much more than that. So at the basis of this record is metal and punk combined, some noise rock and industrial influences here and there. This is Max Cavalera from Sepultura, together with Alex Newport from Fudge Tunnel. You can hear influences from both bands as well. The other members of Sepultura play some tracks on this one, so either with live drum or with drum computer and industrial effects. It's a very pissed off album. Wakes you up in the morning very fast. Then we got the Cromags with Best Wishes. The follow-up album of The Age of Quarrel. I think The Age of Quarrel is a hardcore album, a heavy hardcore album with some metal lead guitar, but with this one they go much more in metal territory, with tracks like Age of Quarrel and Corrosion Demoniac. Death Camps are superb songs. This is without John Joseph. They are a 4-piece. The production on this album is rather polished. It sounds a bit like it was made by the same producer that produced Bringing It Down by Judge. Nevertheless, all these songs are well made. I don't play this quite often. I play the live albums more, but nevertheless, a classic. Got a CD as well. This is the Biohazard debut album. On this album you can still hear clear influences, distinction between metal, what's metal and what's punk. but these are, well, there are a lot of elements that would be recycled for their classic urban discipline. I can enjoy this album. They also have a demo, 1987, 88, which I like the song Panic Attack from, which was a good track. This is also another version of this track on this album. Most songs are great, I think. A few boring ones, but it's killer crossover hardcore metal. Then this would be on many people's lists of crossover albums. The superb album Life of Dreams, which has a bizarre cover. It's by the same drawer of by the same artist of the Ghost for Alarm cover and the Primitive Origins prong cover. Also clear distinction between what's metal and what's hardcore, but I think for this time, this was released in '86, and they already played from '82 or '83, I think. Going up to this album, which is a masterpiece, I believe, they really mastered their songwriting. A point of critique, I would say this deserves a better production. Nevertheless, this is a superb album. And you may know that Gary Meskill and Dan Richardson, they went on to form Propane in the 90s. Carnivore, Retaliation. This is the second album. This is actually the first album, first LP that I bought back in 2001 from actually this is also one 2001, this re-release. The original has you could see the soldiers and green camouflage, also the artillery is more visible. So it has some extra demos and the first album was much more speed metal, and the guys from Carnivore went on to see hardcore bands play live in New York, and Peter Steele, the singer, also known from Typo Negative, wanted to go much more in a hardcore crossover direction. I was kind of shocked back then by the politically incorrect but still hilarious themes and lyrics, but this is a really cool album. And I hesitated to add this one because you would say this is a hardcore classic, but reasons enough to mention this great album. It's the first full length by Warzone, Don't Forget the Struggle, Don't Forget the Streets, which has some great classic songs. Crazy but Not Insane, As One, Where the Crew, Don't Forget the Struggle, Don't Forget the Streets, Skinitude. You could say this is like Youth Crew hardcore plus metal. It has also a very clear sound, quite good production, But yeah, cool album. So that's it. I got 10 crossover albums. Let me know which ones are your favorites. I listened to a lot of crossover back in the day, but these just I played them most. Thanks for watching.